Welcome to the Outlier Trading Room. My name is Christopher Ewell. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I was mentored by 5 of the market wizards, the best traders of all time. I've been successfully trading since 2009, and this is where outliers like us save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, my style of trading is called the golden ticket trading strategy, and it starts with what is the market telling us, right? We need to let the market tell us which direction it's going. The last thing that we need to do is tell the market where it needs to be going. We don't need to be saying, you should do this. The market's telling us what it's doing. We just need to shut up and listen, as Mark Minervini would tell me. Okay, so it starts with the trend of the market, the signal of the market, and the breadth of the market. So with the trend, we want to see the 10 over 20 price over 50, like we do for everything else, but just on the SPY. So if I pull up the SPY over here, bam, it's exactly what we want to see. And what a beautiful trend this is. 10 over 20, price over 50. We cleared this all-time high order block that was set on my 39th birthday, February 19th. And boom, pushing higher. Now, I've told you this before. I will say this forever. All-time highs are bullish. Consider why. Anybody who's ever bought at a lower price is excited. They're happy. They're making money. They're profitable. And there is nobody waiting up overhead saying, okay, once I get to here, I'll be back to break even and I'll sell out. Okay. So for those two reasons, a trend can continue very bullishly for a very long time, especially when it's hitting new all-time highs or new 52-week highs. So this is exactly what we want to see. Next, market breadth. What we're looking for, market signal is next. If we jump into Outlier, we can see that the SPY is still sitting on a buy signal that came through on June 25th. So that's as easy as that. Lastly is market breadth. Now, what this is measuring here is how many stocks are on our buy list or sell list with our bull and bear list here. Bull list with buy signals, bear list with sell signals. And what we can see here is that it's been creeping up higher and higher and higher, which is exactly what we want to see. So we have bullish breadth here. And then when we look at the sectors, there's only 3 sectors that aren't participating right now. There's the staples, the energy, and the real estate. And then none of them are overbought, I guess you could say. Financials is getting close, but it's not up there just yet. So with all that out of the way, we can see that the slingshot setup has the market in line. The market is looking super, super sharp right now. So that's exactly what I want to see. But before we do that, let's go over into our Discord and look at today's member highlight. I love jumping into our Discord and seeing from you how you are using Outlier. If we go over here and we go to the share your big wins section, which I always lose. I don't know why I lose it. I need to like bookmark it somewhere. Where in the wide world of sports is share your big wins? I'm losing it. Where is it at? Share your big wins right there. Okay. So here we go. Dave figured out how to use the high performance portfolio tracker, and he's up 16% year to date. Outstanding. By the way, handily trouncing the SPY, only up 5% so far this year. Way to go, Dave. Let's see. I want to feature a couple of you other people here. Let's see. Oh, Steve had a 63% profit following the Outlier 9, and just shows the sheer difference between options and shares. Way to go, Steve. There are a couple of y'all here. You guys are sharing what we're calling the Outlier effect, and this is cool. This is really cool. So Wild Stimpy says, I can see it clearly. It's crazy how similar a lot of us are, right? This line right here being the Outlier effect that he's talking about, maybe even all the way back here. And then Albertone here. Can you see the Outlier effect in action? Boom, 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 right? This is exactly how successful trading is done. P. Taylor, you might be able to pinpoint the moment I started trading with the Outlier. It's been a fun ride. Boom, boom, right? And for the first time, I feel like I have a plan, right? This is the difference that separates the best from the rest. What you have in front of you is institutional grade analytics that is so easy, step by step by step. And I show you how to use it, and I trade with you as well. So we're all making money together. Isn't this great? I'm so proud of you guys. Outstanding work. Now, of course, do me a favor and tell me your success stories in the chat. And if I've helped you out in any way, the best way that you can pay me back is just by telling everybody you know about Outlier, because that's the first rule of Outlier, is you tell everybody you know. All right, back to trading over here. Let's go into our exits. Now, what do you mean let's go into our exits? I need some new trades, Chris. Give me some new trades right now. Well, here's the deal. We need to look to reduce risk before adding new trades. Reduce risk before adding new trades. That means, how do we go through and find points on the chart where we can have less risk, maybe rolling some trades to reduce risk, or maybe even taking some trades off to reduce risk. This is what we need to be doing before we add anything new today. Okay. Now I have 8 trades on right now, and let's go through this real quick. There's no expectations on the outcome of any of these trades, right? Even if you think that you just happen to be incredibly genius and you didn't close a trade on Friday and it happened to work out today, and your trading plan is, and if you saw in the Discord, you know what I'm talking about. And if your trading plan is, that's fine. Every time I trade, my goal is to make money. That's my plan, is to make money in every trade. You're setting yourself up for failure. Okay, you are setting yourself up for failure. There are no expectations on the outcome of any of these trades. There are no profit targets on any of these trades. I just have a plan to get out when one of my signals, my exit signals, hits. Okay, I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know where that's going to be, but I do know I will follow my plan no matter what to a T, and I will not deviate from that plan, because if I'm going to drive from Dallas to Disney World, I got a map that's going to get me all the way there. And just like that same thing, we are doing that with our trades. We have a map to get us all the way from the beginning to the end, and we will not deviate that. Otherwise, we might end up looking at Mount Rushmore saying, hey, wait, where's Mickey? Where's Mickey? So bull market exits. A SPY close under the 20 EMA, or if the sector and market breadth both cross over. If the sector and market breadth both cross over. Let's look at this. Are there any bull market exits? The SPY is nowhere close to the 20 EMA. There's no issues there. And on the market breadth, only one of the trades that I have on is in the staples sector, which is has bearish breadth. However, the market still has bullish breadth. So for these 2 reasons, I do not have a reason to close. Let's go to the next ones. This is our chart exits. And then lastly will be our outlier exits. So our chart exits, let's start at the top and work our way down. Starting at the top, Celsius. Celsius is actually looking brilliant, right? But let me ask you, on all of these, I actually want to hear from you. So what I want you to do is I want you to type in, just like I'm doing in the chat right now, Celsius, CELH. And then what do you think? What do you think? I don't want you to type what do you think. I want you to put in there, what do you think I need to do today to reduce risk? Okay. So you see it in the chat right here. Put Celsius, and what do you think we need to do? Okay. Dave says Celsius, roll it. Michaela says roll it. JT Create says roll it. Papalagos said roll that bad boy. Eric says he's already rolled it today. Senior Wahoo says roll it. Look at this. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't have to do this. I'm doing this with you because I love the game. Okay. I love the game of trading stocks. And the fact that you guys are knowing exactly what to do is so cool. For me, as your teacher, that really, really gives me a lot of encouragement, because now you're realizing what you need to do to keep those profits, right? To keep your risk in check and to let that trade continue on. How cool is that? That is so sick. Stocky Locky says, we're going to keep rolling. Outstanding. But Albertito actually has another one, right? Raise the stop to the 10 EMA. So first thing I would do if I weren't rolling it is I would move my stop from the half ATR up to the 10 EMA. So Albertito, 100% correct. But we're right at this 1 ATR point. So I want to roll that bad boy. So in the Discord, and if you don't have access to the Discord, head over to outlier.com, pick up the annual pass for just 82 cents a day, and you'll get a link into our Discord. In the Discord, I send a daily note of what we're going to do. A daily note of all the trades I have open and what we're going to do. The sector's still bearish for Celsius. Doesn't need to close for that reason because the market breadth is still good. I'll look to roll when it's around 147 or when it's at 47. Celsius is at 46.99 right now. I would consider that at 47. The heat map continues to rise. Now it's 68 and the target's 78. That is one of my outlier exit signals, which we'll cover that in a moment. And the planned exit point is at the half ATR, which we just moved up to now be on the 10 EMA right here. But really what we need to do is roll this bad boy. So let's roll Celsius. I even told you which strikes that I'm going to roll. From the 40 to the 42.5. So let's go do that. Isn't this cool? Don't you love having a plan? Right? And you can do the exact same thing. So July 18th, I'm in the 40s, rolling up to the 42.5s. Now, why am I rolling up to the 42.5s? I'll show you why. I have a slide for this. So the reason we roll here is when the stock has moved 1 ATR in our direction. So going back to the chart here, right? This is our trigger to do something. We could have rolled any day, but we didn't need to. But only now, once it's rolled up or moved up to the 1 ATR, do we have a trigger. Can you roll up and or out for a credit? If no, don't do anything. Just hold the trade. So as one order, sell to close the original and buy to open closer to the money with same number of contracts and same liquidity standards. So when we go from the 40s to the 42s, lots of open interest over here, which is mostly us. And then here is where we're moving to. Lots of open interest there. The bid-ask spread is only 10 cents wide, and the extrinsic value is like less than 10%. So that looks great to me. Now, if you really wanted to, you could move up from the 40 to the 45. But by doing so, you're going to pay a lot more in extrinsic value in comparison to the total price. Let me show you what I mean by that. We'll do the math on this one. If you moved up to the 45, your extrinsic value would be $1.16 divided by 315, which is 36%. That's too rich for my blood. I like 20% or less. I'll fudge it up to 30%, but I will not go over 30%. If we go to the 42.5s, though, that is 57 cents extrinsic over 505, which is 11% extrinsic. So that's great. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this now in my business account. I'm going to roll from the 40 to the 42.5 on both of my accounts in Celsius. Give me just a moment here. Rolling strikes from the 40 to 42.5. Mid price is at 220 right now. Let's see if we can get filled at 220. Filled at 220. Okay, now I need to do it for my other account. Celsius, roll up from the 40 to the 42.5. See if I can get filled for 220. All right, working right now. Might have to bump that down. Let's see, replace. Probably you guys who are still in the 220s for me right now, aren't you? There you go. I got filled at 218. Okay, so one account I got filled at 220, the other account I got filled at 218. So let me come over here into Discord and give you a step-by-step, a play-by-play, exactly what we did. Let me find when I can copy here. Roll. And then I'm going to tag, and I got into Celsius. KKR. Celsius was here. Okay. So I'm going to reply to this message so we can keep the chain. Today is the 30th. Oh, it's the last day of the quarter. Celsius, CELH, 40 calls up to the 42.5s for 220. And trading at Celsius is at 46.91 right now. Okay. So that's our first roll. Now we need to move our half ATR from this point here. So let's move this down slightly. 46.91 is what we said a minute ago. And then here, that's right, rolled. And then we're going to move our half ATR up to that point. I'm just going to use this little cheat sheet right here. So that's where I know my half ATR point is right at the bottom of that candle, basically. So boom, just like that. Easy peasy. So Celsius is rolled. We've kept the trade on. We just took in $2.20 per contract back into our account that we can trade with today. How cool is that? How cool is that? So we took partial profits. We reduced risk in the trade by $2.20, and we've kept the trade alive. Outstanding work. Outstanding work. Let's go to the next one. Morgan Stanley. So we've already rolled Morgan Stanley. Now, let's go back to our exit plans over here, and let's go through this. On the chart exits, half ATR from entry. That would have been way down here, but we've moved that up at this point. 10 EMA. Now that's way down there. Okay. Any outlier blocks in our way? No. There's no gap and crap going on either. That's where it gaps up and then comes back down. A close below the prior day's low once it's rolled. So we've already rolled this one. So the prior day low would be right here. So my half ATR exit, make this bigger for you. The half ATR exit is slightly higher than the prior day's low. So that would be my exit point at 139.29 today. And I don't need to read it. I don't need to do anything with it. So this one is going to stay as it is. Now heat map exit. I said we'd talk about that in a minute. Let's go over to click into one of these. I'll go Morgan Stanley. All right, looking at Morgan Stanley, getting more and more greedy. The sector is getting more and more greedy. Sector breadth is still nice and strong with a buy signal, 10 over 20, price over 50. This still lights the outlier 9 all the way up for me. But my exit point I had written on here as exit at 63 on the heat map. On the heat map, once it reaches the 63 value, it's at 57 right now. So I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. Go to the next one here. Let's go to KKR. Now, you tell me, what do I need to do today to KKR? I want to know from you, what do you think that I need to do today to KKR? If I'm looking at this, let's see. FATR from entry, that's not an issue. We've already gone up. We've rolled it once already. The 10 EMA is right there, so that's good. No outlier blocks, no gap and craps. Close below the prior day's low. Prior day low was right around here where we got in. That's good. David, I think you nailed it. Graham, I think you nailed it. Zeke, I don't see any reason to do anything. Michael Ross, the boss, I don't see any reason to do anything here. Moneybags Ashley says hold it. Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anything that I need to do on this one, actually. So I'm going to just move this over here, and we're going to hold it. Capital One Finance. Ooh, what's in your wallet? Probably a lot of money because it's been doing really good, right? All right, Capital One Finance. Tell me in the chat, what do we need to do to Capital One Finance today? Right, we got in here. It's moved up beautifully. Now it's at the 1 ATR. What would we do? Capital One Finance. Tell me what we're going to do today. Roll. That's right. Zeke, Capital One, roll. The Knight says roll. Moneybags Ashley says roll. I agree. Let's roll that bad boy. Roll that baby roll. Let's do it. Okay, cool. So we're going to go into here because I've already told you which strikes that I want to roll. And that's from the 195 to the 200. Right? Makes it easy when you know what your plan is. No second guessing. We know exactly where we're going here. Shane says, roll that beautiful bean footage. Now, for some reason, and I don't know why, this is the first time I've seen this before. There's 2 expirations for July 18th. Make sure you go to the one that you're already in right now over here. This is one that has super low liquidity. They have the same expiration. I don't know. It's weird. But doesn't matter. We're going to go with this one. Selling to close the 195s, buying to open the 200s. Now, why those two? Look around, right? Look at the open interest. That's really the only place where the party's happening. This is the only place where the party's happening are on these 2 strikes. And we're going to move the party from my house over to your house. All right. That's the plan. That's the plan. 10 cents wide on the strike, 175 on extrinsic value on 1480. 175 over 1480 is 11% extrinsic value. That looks great. That looks great. Justice says he's loving rolling with Chris because we're going to roll from my house over to Justice's house and let's make it happen. Okay. So I'm going to go into my platform. I'm going to roll. I have to do this twice. So I'm going to go do this. We're going to roll Capital One. Roll strikes up from the 195 to the 200. Come on. There we go. No, hang on. Gotta clear my order. I messed it up. Okay. 195 to the 200. There we go. Mid price shows 440 right now. Let's see if we can get filled. Rolling that one. Instantly filled at 440. Okay. Let's go to the next one. I need to do that in the other account. Rolling from the 195 to the 200. Okay. See if I can get it 440 again. Rolled at 440 again. Okay, so I just rolled Capital One up to 440. Now, remember why we did this. Right? We're not doing it just because we got nothing else to do on our minds. No. We are taking partial profits off the table. We are freeing up capital. Because in theory, if I have enough, and I really don't know if I have enough yet, it'll free up capital to make new trades. And it will keep the existing trade alive. You cannot do this with stock. Impossible. Architect Ray, what did I miss? Oh, here we go. This is the standard stock ticker for Capital One Finance. You can find stock quotes and information under this symbol. Dude, I'm so lost. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, Architect Ray. I'm sure that's helping somebody out, my friend. Okay, back over to here. Let's move up our exit point to a half ATR below here. Okay, half ATR below this puts us right here. And I need to put that in the Discord just a moment. So this is trade number 2 for the day. Going back to the original one so we can keep track. Capital One Finance right there. I'm going to reply to it. Now, the reason that I reply to it is you can actually track it all the way from beginning to end if I do it this way. Really cool, right? Lots of transparency when you do it like this. Capital One, 195s, up to the 200s for 440. Yeah, 440. When trading at 213.35 is what I see right now at this exact price. There we go. Okay. So Capital One, I've rolled up, looking beautiful. And that's all we need to do today. Heat map exit at 72. What's Capital One Finance? What is that? School Me Money says, how did I learn to use your software? Bro, I'm teaching you exactly how to use it right now. Just watch and learn, my friend. Watch, learn, and make some money. How's that sound? You are in the right place. That's why we do it, by the way, right? Not only do I get to make money, because I'm doing this anyway at this time of day, but you get to make money and you get to learn how to use the software all together, right? That's why we do it at this time every day. So looking at this one, we're at 65, 73. My heat map value is at 72. So we're done with Capital One. Let's go to SMTC. Tell me in the chat, what do I need to do for SMTC? While I answer Mr. Banderjee's question, how do you join the Discord? Head over to outlier.com, grab the annual pass for just 82 cents a day, and we'll shoot you a link for the Discord so you can get in there. Ben says, trading with a movie star. Not exactly. I mean, I've been on TV so many times, it became annoying. I know that sounds weird, but like I did probably 200 interviews on TV. It's no different than what you and I are doing right now. And I hated it. It wasn't fun. So I don't do that anymore. But given the opportunity, I probably would again. But I don't have a publicist right now. I had the world's worst publicist. Oh my gosh, I hated her guts. She was so miserable. Time for another story. Okay. Theo says, my broker does not allow me to buy more of Capital One by rolling it up. Should I hold? Okay. In that case, yeah, if you have an issue and you can't roll, that's fine, right? The reason we're doing this is we're taking partial profits now. We're keeping the trade alive, and we're freeing up capital to take on new trades. But in this case, if you can't do that, I'm not sacrificing this beautiful big beautiful trade that I have on right now for something new that is unknown. Keep the trade on, keep it the way it is. And if you haven't any issues rolling, you don't have to do any rolls. You don't have to. All right. SMTCs, you guys tell me. You know what's cool? Mike and Mike, the market maker, says, making money. Georgia says, hold. Klaus says, hold. Justice says, move the stop loss. I would prefer to be with either end rather than be on TV. It's annoying. Oh, wait. Hitting Pickles says, I just made my first successful trade today using your teachings and I earned $200. That's a big deal for me. And I'm incredibly grateful. Thank you so much. Greetings from Spain. Awesome. If I knew how to make a pickle emoji, I would say everybody put a pick. Can you put a pickle emoji in the chat? I'm just going to type in pickle emoji. There we go. Outstanding work, Hidden Pickles. I am so happy for you. Way to go. Let's move on to SMTC. Let's run through the plan here real quick. All right, where'd that slide go? Chart exits. Half ATR from entry. Half ATR from entry. No issues there. But the 10 EMA trailing stop is now above that point. So we're going to move this up. So we just moved up the half ATR. So we reduce risk in the trade. Even though we didn't roll, we're now following the 10 EMA because the half ATR would be below that point. So that's looking good. No issues there. Oh, there are pickle emojis. I was hoping there would be. Outstanding. Okay, very cool, very cool. So looking at this right here, moving on. No order blocks, no gaps and craps. Hasn't been rolled yet. No earnings risk, no expirations risk in the trade. Cool. Now heat map exit at 72. Let's spend a couple more minutes talking about that. So for me, when I look to put on a trade, I'm getting the heat map value at the time that I put it on. Okay. So I put the trade on a couple of days ago, and at that time, the heat map value was at 62. My rules are if it's between 50 to 75, do a 10-point spread on the heat map. This is the heat map. This is the fear and greed value we're looking at right here. The more greedy it gets, the more likely it is to snap back. So we want to take advantage of that rising without it getting too far and snapping back and taking our profits away. That sucks. I don't want that. So I'm giving a 10-point spread. So I got in at 62, get out at 72. It's at 64 right now. So there's nothing to do in SMTC except roll up to the 10 ATR. Let's go next to the frog. Tell me in the chat, what do I need to do on frog? What do I need to do on frog? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold tight. I saw something. That is not a pickle emoji. That is not a pickle emoji, Charlie. Okay. Oh, Zachary asked, how do you get the signal line on your market breadth indicator in Outlier? Very great question. I'm going to pop over to Outlier real quick and I'm going to show you. Down here, the green line is the same market breadth line that you can find over here. Show you what this is. This is the tech sector. If I go into the tech sector, you're going to see precisely exactly this same line right here as right here. Okay. Now the green and red background right there is this chart. This is showing you how many stocks in this sector have an uptrend or downtrend. That is this. When it's 10 over 20, price over 50, it's green and an uptrend. 10 under 20, price under 50 is red and a downtrend. So that's a combo chart right there. Now, to your question, the yellow line is actually one I added in. So if you go over here on the left-hand side to indicators, you pop this open, and candlestick is this top section. Market breadth is the bottom section. And then it gives you a few different choices that you can add to there. Mine happens to be yellow. You can put whatever color you want on there. Great question. All right, let's go see what we need to do on frog. Frog. As much as I want to sell, it's a hold. Ooh, Georgia says hold. Terry says move the stop up to the 10 EMA. I'm going to agree with Terry on this case. I'm going to agree with Terry on this case because that's exactly what I want to do. I want to move my stop up to the 10 EMA, which is higher than the half ATR. Outstanding work, Terry. Everybody say Terry in the chat. Pay respects to Terry in the chat. I hope y'all like when we do the pay respects to the people in the chat because I want to make that person feel special because Terry's absolutely right. Terry is saying exactly the same thing that a professional investor would do. And I want Terry to know just that I think she or he, I'm not sure. I mean, Terry's could be either one, right? But I would bet it's a he. I want Terry to know, like, you're a rock star, Terry. Great work, dude. Okay, looking at this, I believe that's all I need to do today. Frog's heat map is where? Oh, by the way, new mug of the day. My Scrooge is not available. So I pulled this one out. This one speaks to my soul. McGuire's Irish Pub in Destin, Florida. I don't know if you've ever been there. If you have been there, see there's little dollar bills all over this like leprechaun dude. Yeah, there we go. They have dollar bills tacked to the ceilings, to the walls, to everywhere. And I was like, oh, this is my kind of place. This is my kind of place. Okay. Looking at the frog, we are at a heat map value of 67 and heat map exit at 72. So no issues there. Let's go to the PayPal. All right. What do I need to do on PayPal? Tell me, what are we doing in the PayPal? Ah, Viet was just there for Memorial Day. It's a cool place, right? Except they don't serve Guinness. What kind of backwards ass Irish pub doesn't have Guinness? They had their own like stout beer to try and be Guinness, but it wasn't Guinness and it tasted terrible. I didn't even finish it. It was terrible. It was awful. It was terrible. All right. So we see some people like JT says the 10 EMA, Maris says nothing, Steve says nothing. Same detail, according to Stocky Locky. Where'd it go? Raise the 10 EMA and chill. I love it. Great way to describe it. Frankie's saying Terry as well. Very cool. Chill leprechaun style. I like it. So yeah, nothing really to do here except move up the half ATR, the 10 EMA from the day before, because I think we already raised it once, up to here. Let's go to Nvidia. All right, what are we doing on Nvidia? What are we doing on Nvidia? Right, you've already got my exit rules. I've shown you what to do. Tell me what we're doing on Nvidia. And then we'll look for new trades. Let's see how much cash I have. Hold on. How much cash I have. Tell me what to do in Nvidia. Okay. How much cash do I have? I have some. Some. I don't know if I have enough to put on a new trade, though. We'll price it out. If I don't, it's okay. Hold. Chill. Yeah, I know the hood's been crazy, but I already traded in and out of that. It's not even on my plan. Follow your plan. Exactly. Hold. Nothing. Absolutely Nvidia. I like it. I like it. Absolutely nothing in Nvidia, Patrick. Well said. Let's say Patrick in the chat, because Patrick's totally right. P-A-T-R-I-C-K. Way to go, Patrick. You nailed it, dude. I don't see anything to do in Nvidia, just to hold it, right? Following the plan on Nvidia. So that's going to wrap up our section on our exit points, right? Looking to reduce risk before adding new trades. That's as far as we're going to go. Now, at this point, you're probably asking, what is Outlier and how does it work? Well, old Uncle Warren used to say, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Outlier shows you if investors are acting irrationally fearful or greedy and by how much, allowing you to get into the stock before the Outlier move happens. Now, if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, it's just 3 easy steps. And we do them every single day together, right? Step 1, head on over to outlier.com, grab the annual pass for just 82 cents a day. Or if you're on the monthly plan, you can upgrade with one single click and save 64% off the regular monthly price. Step 2, start using the Outlier 9 framework, which we're working on right now, going through it today, and sit back and relax. That's step 3, because you just found the easiest way to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk. All right, so next, the fun, exciting part. Let's continue on. What are the sectors telling us? So right now, we saw most of the sectors have bullish breadth, but there are some that are still maybe not so greedy. Maybe they're fearful. I, in the sake of time, ran some names that I thought would be interesting new ideas. So let's look at UBS, KTOS, STX, and Amazon. So let's start with UBS. Let's look at UBS. Justice, I love how I learn options this way. You're the best teacher for me at this point. Thanks a lot, Chris. Justice, you are the best student at this point, my friend. You're the best student. All right, so looking at UBS, this is in the financials. It's continuing to get more and more greedy. The stock is getting less and less fearful, more greedy. 10 over 20, price over 50 with a buy signal. I mean, just for sake of time, looking at UBS, this is great here. And then the trend signal, fear and greed, and outlier blocks. Let's double check any outlier blocks on top of UBS here. And there is one, but it's 4.5% away. So UBS actually looks really sharp to me. So let's see if I can put on a trade in UBS. Let's price this bad boy out. Because honestly, I don't know if I can. Open interest is okay. I would be looking at the 30 strike if I were to get any of them. The extrinsic value is only 18 cents on $4. So that's like basically nothing. Let's see if I have enough. If I don't, that's okay. Hold tight. Let me do some math over here. No, I don't have enough. I don't think I have enough to put on any new trades today. So because of that, that's fine, right? I still have my 8 existing trades on. I've reduced risk across the board. I have more cash in my account than I did the other day. I still have all 8 of them being profitable. But now I want to help you out. Tell me in the chat some stocks you want to look at that we can work together on and look to see if I can help you out in any certain way. That's what I'd like to do. Oh, wait a minute. Deep Thought has a great idea, actually. Deep Thought has a really good idea. Didn't even realize the at the money is a 72 delta in this case. And it's got lots of liquid. I might be able to do that one. Hold tight. Might pull an audible here. So 37 cents on $1.65 is how much? 37 by 165. 22%. I can live with that. Lots of open interest there. Hang on, Deep Thought. You may be onto something. Let me price this out. $1.65. Still don't have enough. I could only put on 2/3 my normal position size if I do that. So it's just not enough for me. That's okay. Let's keep going. What can I help you guys with? We scroll up a little bit. All right, so Deep Thought was where I left off. UBS, for me personally, it would have enough open interest. I like at least 250. And I mean, 1, 2, 3 different strikes that are in the money have over 250, so it's okay. Why rolling an option? Is it called a bear call, or is that what it says in I believe that's Interactive Brokers. So actually, you're 100% right, Mr. Bear. So what we do on here, we are selling a call and buying one closer to the money. That technically is a trade on its own. That technically is a trade on its own. And that trade setup right there would be a bear call spread. We're not doing that, right? We're basically rolling from A to B. But if you did that trade on its own without already having an existing position, you would have a completely different position on what we're looking for. Not trying to do that. We're just trying to keep the long calls right there. That's a really good question. Hang on. It doesn't give me a lot of detail if you just put in some names on here. Help me out. Help me out. What do you need me to see, right? I can look at stocks all day, but what does this mean, right? Are you in the stock? Are you looking for a new one? That's what I'd like to know. An Askew says, I've been in the hood for 13 days now. I rolled twice already. And with today's move, I'm pretty nervous. Can you take a look, pretty, please? An Askew, we're going to work on this one for you right now. Do me a favor in the chat. How much you still have in risk? And I mean, like, if it was $5 when you put it on and you rolled one for 250 and you rolled another for 250, there's no more risk in the trade. That's what I want to know before we get too deep into it. And also, at what dollar price did you get in? I know I have hood on here somewhere. Where is it? I've completely lost hood. Where's my hood? There. Wow, hood's up 12% today. Holy moly. Yeah, so I got in and out of hood back here. That's fine because that fit my plan at that time. But wow, what a crazy move. Hey, by the way, we talk about not closing below the 10 EMA as a beautiful, big, beautiful trend. It's not once closed below the 10 EMA. And Askew is absolutely killing it. Let me see if he's giving me more detail here. There's no risk so far. Outstanding work. So by doing this, a NASQ, I don't know where he got in. Maybe he'll tell us in a minute, but he's rolled it once, he's rolled it twice, and he's taken in enough credit where he has no risk in the trade so far. So, what's there to be nervous about? Like, legitimately, there's nothing to be nervous about. If you've taken in more credit in your rolls than you did on the original trade, you are literally sitting scot-free. Now, here's what you need to figure out. Where are you going to get out, bro? Where are you going to get out? Because you're killing it. You are killing it in this game. Let's go over to Hood. And looking at this here, maybe he got in over here on June 17th. I don't know. But it's been getting more and more greedy. It's up at 82 on the greed scale. 82 on the greed scale. So, dude, on a crazy move like this, it's very possible it could be a blow off top and then come right back down. I don't know. But in this case, my dude, I would say the easiest exit you could take is to close under the 10 EMA. If you have no risk in the trade and you're not following any of the outlier signals on here and you're doing your own thing, and that's fine, you could run the 10 EMA and just let that dude run. I mean, honestly, it could go up another $100 and you could take most of that credit, or not credit, you could take most of that profit all the way up. However, if it turns around, you'll know and you'll be able to get out. But let's say it turns around here, right? You're not going to capture the very top, and you're never going to capture the very top, so don't try. But if it turns around, you'll know ahead of time that it could be reversing, right? Let's go over to HIMS real quick. You've probably heard of a stock called HIMS. Somebody this morning in the chat was like, "Have you ever heard of a stock called HIMS?" Yes, I have heard of a stock called HIMS. But look at this big move right here. If it's doing something like HIMS, we don't know where that top is going to be, and it's going to feel uncomfortable all the way up. It's going to feel really uncomfortable all the way up. Then once it closes below the 10 EMA, that's a red light. I think this is actually a pretty great example here. If it closes below the 10 EMA, that's a red light. That could give you a really solid exit signal before it goes down for months, right? So if I were you, in this case, not looking at the outlier data, but following my own trade, I would be using that 10 EMA. But then again, I wouldn't just let it go, right? Even though you have no risk in the trade, that doesn't mean like, oh, let's just let that go and see what happens, right? We're not just like throwing dice and seeing where it lands. No. We're still going to follow a plan to make sure we capture as much of that profit as possible. Okay. Conan the Barbarian gave us all the details, which is exactly what I want to see. Thank you, Conan. Let's go over to DB. You got in at, this is perfect. Thank you very, very much for all the details. Let's go to DB. You got in at 30.37. Okay, where was that at? 30.37, probably up here. So let me mark this line This is gonna make it great, Conan. Opening at 30.37. So let's do opening at 30.37. Okay. Now, I can see, you can see, we can all see that's not worked out today, right? It's down 3.63%. That happens. I don't want you to ever feel like you did something wrong. That just happens, okay? Let's calculate the half ATR. The ATR value is at 64 cents. The ATR value is at 64 cents. ATR was 60 when you got in. Would you close tomorrow at the opening if you apply the Outlier strategy, or below before the bell? Can you also look at SMCI? I will look at DB for you, my friend. So a 30-cent decline was your 30.07 was your half ATR, right? We can agree it's closed below that point, right? Now, here's what I need you to do. Look at this slide for me. Look at this slide for me right here. Look at this slide for me real quick. All right, everybody, look at this slide. And let's redo ourselves. If you're not doing well trading stocks, the grand majority of the problem is ego-driven by fear. The problem is you, which means the solution is also you. But first, you have to accept the responsibility and banish blame. Then you become empowered with the ability to respond. So this is kind of what happened here. You bought here and it's gone down, knowing you should sell when your stock does this, but you don't because you fear that it will turn around and do this, right? You fear that it could turn around and do this. But what happens is that you're going to get caught in this. You're going to get caught in this. Now, I don't know if this is going to happen to you. I doubt it. But in this case, if this were my trade, I would be closing today, not tomorrow, not in a couple of days. I would be following my plan and I'd be closing it today. Okay, let's go on here. Stas, do you have any preference for any of today's optional picks, or no expectations in the trade all the way? And then Scott wants to look at the KTOS long 40 strike. We can look at that. That was one of the trades I thought of taking. I just don't have enough capital available for my rolls to put it on, and that's fine. So let's do KTOS, the 40 strike. Let's go over to KTOS. Let's run the Outlier 9 on KTOS real quick. Let's run the Outlier 9 on KTOS here. Okay, this is what we want it to look like. All right, looking at KTOS. Got that buy signal today. The breadth of the industrial sector is getting more greedy. The breadth is getting more bullish. The sector fear and greed average, so this is taking the average score from everybody in the sector, is getting more greedy. That's what we want to see. Now, the fear and greed on KTOS itself contracted slightly, but it is now going back up. 84.34 yesterday, 84.50 today. And looking at this, we've got our 10 over 20, price over 50. It did have a sell signal after a long buy signal. Performance summary shows 196%. That's pretty sweet. But it did follow that right up with a new buy signal here. So it has Outlier 9 all set up on here. Let's go look at the KTOS chart. And it closed right on top of this order block right here yesterday. I don't see anything behind it, like it could be an overhead order block, any overhead resistance. No, this one actually looks really brilliant. And then if we go into the options chain, of course it looks brilliant. I was looking at this earlier, so I know that it's going to look great. This strike is too wide. This is 640 to 780. That might tighten up here in a minute. It's got lots of liquidity here. Your extrinsic value is 84 cents on 770, so just over 10% value. I don't remember being that wide. Here, it's kind of closing it down right now. It's down to $1.10. Let's give it another minute or two, and it might be good. Dave says 42.50 sounds like the only good option. It's swinging wide on the bid-ask spread. That's what I'm looking at right here. There, now it's 30 cents wide. Now it's 20 cents wide on the 40 strike. You could go with the 42.5, like what Dave was talking about here. But even that, see, it widened out really big. Not sure why it's widening out the way that it is, but either one of these look really strong. It's just not one that I'd be getting because I just don't have enough capital, and that's okay. All right, no stress. Ooh, he wants to look at the volatility histogram. Let's go look over here. The volatility histogram does look really sharp. Look, lots of big, beautiful up days. Lots and lots of big, beautiful up days versus less frequent down days. More frequent big up days, less frequent down days. Very cool. I like how you looked into that. Sunny says that's the outlier effect. VGuard says, did you lock in some gains? Why not place what you made new trade in UBS? Is because it's not to fill your risk plan. That's exactly right. Right. I mean, could I put on new trades? Yes, but it's not big enough for me. I know that sounds weird, but if I put on a trade that's too small, then if I do have a big win on it, it's not going to be enough to do the incremental gains that I'm looking for. So I'm just not interested. If I can't get the right position size on, I'm not going to trade it. And the same thing should be the case for you. If you can't put on the right position size, be it 100 or be it 1, if you can't put on that size, then don't trade it. Don't trade it. Are you sure you don't have enough? Let me double check on KTOS. Current KTOS price is what? If I went with this one here, 470, it would be close. I'd have about 80% of it, but I just don't have enough. It would be close. I just don't have enough. How many could I get though? Hold tight. Let me do some math here. Hold on. It may just be 2 contracts less is all I need. Oh, it's more than 2. I could do it. It's a little bit less, but I could do it. 12,292. We got time here. Going on the 42.5 strike. Let's do it. Let's do it. Thanks, Dave. I wasn't even looking at the 42.5 strike. Let's do it. I'm going to buy the July 18th 42.5 strike on KTOS. Oh. There was a question on the fear and greed too high. So even though it is at 84.5, I'm going to give it 5 points. I'm going to give it 5 points, right? We talked about that spread. Where's that slide? Oh my gosh, I've completely lost my slide. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. If it's over 75, I'll give it a 5-point spread. It's currently high, and that's okay, at 84.5. So I give it up to 89. That's all. I would give it up to 89. That's all. So 42 KTOS, July 18th, 42.5. I only got a couple minutes left. Let me get those real quick. Now I do have to adjust my position size a little bit down, but it's not much. KTOS, July 18th. July 18th, 42.5. All right, let me see how many I can get. Gotta go down by 1. That'll fill it. Okay. So 42.5, I'm looking for a fill price of 480. Filled at 480. And I do it in my other account real quick. KTOS. 42.5 strike. And let me get that real quick. Should be good on this one. 2 seconds. I should be done. Yeah, there we go. And put that in for 480. Filled at 480 on both. Okay. So I'm in KTOS. I had to back it down, but it was really only 3 contracts. I can live with that. I can live with that. All right. So we're in KTOS. This is trade number 3 for the day. So 630. Trade number 1. No, this is trade number 3 because we rolled 2 already. KTOS. This was the 42.5 calls. And I got in, it was 440, right? Activity. 480. 480. 480. Current KTOS price is 46.52. All right, now let's go mark up on the chart where we're going to get out. It's all fun and games getting in, but where in the wide world of sports we're going to get out? First, I'm going to mark this for today. Why is this not clicking? There we go. Opening price 46.60, 46.52 is where we got in. Okay. Opening 46.52. All right. Okay. Now let me add my ATR levels on here. So my half ATR stop out point is here. My +1 ATR is up here for rolling. My +2 ATR is up here. But the heat map exit, as Dana says, I'll just do 89. I'll just do 89. But you're exactly correct. Thank you, Dana. That saved me a moment. Heat map exit 89. Very cool. Very cool. So in the trade, we'll have to see how it goes. Now, we got to remember this, right? We have to remember this. Let's find the slide because we have to remember it. There's no expectations on KTOS, on Nvidia, on any of the other ones, right? No expectations on the outcome of these. There are no profit targets on any of these. We just have a plan to get out when one of my exit signals is hit, okay? I don't know if it's going to be a winner. I don't know if it's going to be a loser, but I do know one of my exit signals will be hit. And when it does, I'll get out. So this has been a big day. I really am excited to do this with you. Steve says, Chris, this is gold. We're doing this with everybody. Oh man, I love to do this with you. An ASQ is so levered in. He has 77 bucks in his account. I love it. I have an ASQ. I have 279. That's all I have left. That's all I, wait a minute. No, yeah, that's not enough. I'm one contract short. USB Fear and Greed exit is 63. Let's double check that for my friend Joe, or UBS. Joe already turned off my screen share. Sorry, dude. We're out of luck. Just joking. Just for you, Joe. UBS. All right. On UBS here, the heat map value is at 46.18 today. So for me, my exit point would be a 63 because it's less than 50. 63 because it's less than 50. All right. Very cool. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I hope you're really enjoying the interaction, right? We're learning and we're earning together. How cool is that? So listen, if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, click one of these two videos, and I'll see you tomorrow. Talk soon.